Hey guys, welcome back to A Voice in the Influence. It is your girl, Tykeesh T. Lemons, and I am here with another episode of A Voice in the Influence. And as you see, I am on the road. And I wanted to talk about forgiveness today. And the reason why I want to talk about forgiveness is because I know a lot of people struggle with how do I forgive? How do I know if I forgave? Because we oftentimes we hear a lot of people talking about the topic of, forgiveness is for you, it's not for the other person. If you don't forgive people, then God won't forgive you. If you don't forgive, then it will hinder you from your purpose. We hear all of these different statements about forgiveness. And so I've come to understand that, all of those statements that I just mentioned are actually true, because I look at it as scientifically. I look at it through energy, and I really do believe that energy can't be destroyed. It only can be transferred. So meaning when someone has offended you or someone has hurt you, then you have accepted that energy within yourself because you have reacted emotionally in order to be offended or in order to be hurt. And so now that energy resides within your body, and in order for it to not harm you anymore, or for it not to hinder you anymore, then you have to release it. You have to transfer it. So that means that you have to forgive. And that's what I totally believe. And so let's talk about how to forgive. Now, I'm speaking from personal experience. I've been hurt by many different people, and I believe that there's not a single person on this earth that hasn't been hurt before. And so when I'm speaking from my experience, what I've learned about forgiveness is to learn the lesson. Learn the lesson. I often believe that when it comes to any type of situation, that it takes two people, and that means you and the person that you were offended by. That means you and the person that hurt you. And so oftentimes people can't even think about looking at their self in the situation. They always, point the finger at the other person, because sometimes what the other person has done is so horrific. It's just so, unbelievable that a person that claims to love you, or a person that claims to be your family, or a person that claims, to be your friend, or even, let's say, political situation, just whatever the situation is, sometimes it's so unbelievable that this would even occur, that this person would even do that to you. So it's very hard for you to take a step back and look at your own actions, to look at your own behaviors in the situation. But I have come to learn that that is very crucial in the process of forgiveness. You have to be able to look at yourself. And so as you look at yourself, how you got yourself in that situation, there's something that you can learn about the situation. So in doing that, you take your power back, because now your reaction to what happened is no longer dependent on what the other person has done to you. Now it is focused on what you did to put yourself in that position so that that person could do that to you. And so when you learn that, then it makes you more powerful, and also makes you more knowledgeable. It makes you more aware, so that if you ever come up again in that situation again, let's say it could be with a totally different person, you will now be equipped. You will now be prepared. You will now know how to respond instead of reacting, because to get offended is a reaction, but to respond is to take a step back and to think how you want to reply to the situation. Or even if you want, silence is also a response. You know what I mean? But it's very important that you take that step back, because as you take a step back, it gives your brain the ability to calm down. It gives your brain the ability to pause, so that you can now you can now respond in a way that allows the executive function of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, to choose the way that it wants to respond. So learning the lesson in the situation is the first key for me for a forgiveness. Because when you learn your lesson, it's like, okay, you take your power back. It's no longer that person who hurts you. It's you. What could you have done better, right? That's the first step. You have to learn the lesson. Okay. Now, the second step, had some motorcycles pass by, guys. Okay. The second step in forgiveness is praying for the other person. Yes. And also forgiving yourself, right? So when you pray for the other person, bless you, sweetheart. When you pray for the other person, bless you. You cannot lay like that in the car. Excuse me, guys. Yes. So praying for the other person and also forgiving yourself, right? That is so crucial. And the reason why I say pray for the other person and also forgive yourself is the second step. You know, it's like a 2-in-1 step. Is because I truly believe that when you pray and you go onto God within yourself, that you have to have space to speak with him clearly. And I believe that when you don't look at yourself how God sees you, it's very, very hard for you to receive a direct connection to God so that, you know, he can work on that thing. Because when you pray and you're praying, but you haven't forgave yourself, you know, God says, forgive other people so that he can forgive you. So when you're praying about the other person, you're also opening up the space for God to forgive you for what you've done. You know what I mean? And so as you pray for the other person, you forgive yourself and you also forgive them. You pray for whatever it is that they did to you. You know, now in this situation, you lay it all out on the table, how you feel hurt. And then also about what you've learned, right? Because that opens up the space for you to have a whole new encounter with the world and with yourself. You're no longer waking up thinking about this situation and allowing it to interrupt your day. Now you're waking up and understanding that you have been forgiven. You've prayed for the other person. You've let it go. You've transferred the energy. Because as you speak about how this has hurt you, you know, sometimes you may start to cry. You may feel, you know, very emotional, especially if the person means so much to you and this came as a shocker for you. You know, it may really, really have a toll on your heart. You know, you may feel some type of weight being felt on this situation. And so, you know, you may feel some tears flow down. You may feel a lot of pain, you know, tightness within your chest. And in those situations, the third thing I would suggest for your consideration would be that you would do breathing exercises. That you would breathe in and exhale slowly. Breathe in and exhale slowly. That also opens up the winds, I believe it's some type of organ within your chest. I'm not too sure exactly what it's called, but when you breathe in and you exhale slowly, it opens up those airways, I believe is what it is. And so those 3 steps are very, very important when you are in the process of forgiving. So number 1 was to find the lesson. Find the lesson. Number 2 is to pray for the other person and to pray for yourself. Number 3 is to practice mindfulness skills. And one of those skills will be breathing in and out, exhaling slowly. It is your girl, Tykeisha T. Lemons, and today we were talking about 3 steps to forgive, the process of forgiveness, and how you can truly transform your life and use these skills to forgive. And sometimes you have to forgive on a day-to-day basis. And the last nugget I would give you is to practice not being offended. If you're not offended, then oftentimes you won't have to be in the process of forgiving people, because it will simply just, you will understand that that's what they chose to do. That has nothing to do with me. You'll be able to separate certain experiences and not take them personally. I'm out, guys. It is your girl, Tykeisha T. Lemons, and you are listening to A Voice and an Influence. I hope you guys have a great day. This ain't go. Okay, guys. Bye.